Hi guys, good day, how are you? This is Sotonye Afiesimama with Today in History. It's the 2nd of June 2020. This recording is for the 2nd of June 2020. I'm 24 hours late, forgive me for that, due to some technical issues. So, Today in History, as you can see from the photograph here, the Queen of England, Elizabeth II, Elizabeth Windsor, had her coronation in 1953, which was 67 years ago. 67 years ago. So there she is in her regalia and all her glory. With archbishops, I guess, of probably Westminster and Canterbury. Google it up if you want to go more in depth as to who these other people were. And obviously there are ladies there. I guess they're all from the royal household. Moving on, we started with the ladies. We're starting with the ladies first. This one, I think, was quite fascinating. I'd vaguely heard of her name before, but let me read about her. Her name is Harriet Tubman, and Wikipedia says Harriet Tubman was an American abolitionist and political activist. Born into slavery, Tubman escaped and subsequently made some 13 missions to rescue approximately 70 enslaved people, including family and friends, using the network of anti-slavery activists and safe houses known as the Underground Railroad. She was born in Dorchester County, Maryland, in the United States, and she died on the 10th of March 1913 in Auburn, New York, United States of America. Her full name was Araminta Ross. Okay. She had siblings as well: Mariah, Ritty Ross, Rachel Ross, Moses Ross, Ben Ross, Lena Ross, Soph Ross, because that's short for Sophie, perhaps. And these were her siblings. So it wasn't a small family. Yeah, guys, let's do a bit more research on Harriet Tubman. Yeah, one of the abolitionists, which is quite good. Next, we have Elgar. He is a classical composer. Now, let me see. I think he was born on this day, Edward Elgar. So Edward Elgar, say he was an English composer, even though his last name doesn't sound English. He probably was from one of these, I suspect, I was going to say Eastern European countries, but I would leave that to those who know better about names. But Elgar doesn't quite sound like an English name originally. Possibly for one of these Germanic countries, Austria or Hungary, or don't know if I would say Hungary is Germanic. Germany, obviously. Some people could argue that the United Kingdom is Germanic. Anyway, so that's Elgar for you. Sir Edward William Elgar, 1st Baronet, was an English composer, many of whose works have entered the British and international classical concert repertoire. Born on the 2nd of June, which is why he's featuring here, in Broadheath, died on the 23rd of February 1934 in Worcester. There we go. He was buried at St. Wolstan's Church in Little Malvern. Compositions. Pomp and Circumstance. Yes, that's his most famous composition. I thought that his name rang a bell. Land of Hope and Glory. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, amongst others, I guess these are the most popular compositions that he composed, for lack of a better term. Next is good old Ray Charles. Good old Ray Charles. Let's find out. One of his songs got to #1 today in 1962. The song's called, it's a cover, I Just Can't Stop Loving You, from his influential crossover album, Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music. They got to #1 in 1962. Wow. I was way before I was born. Good old Ray. Love this guy, man. Love him. I remember being on a road trip in Georgia 4 years ago, and as soon as I got to cross the state lines, I was driving from Texas, going to Georgia, and I started playing Georgia on my phone. I recently got an iPhone 6 at the time, 6S, I think. So just using my data and playing Georgia on my mind and just enjoying the song and, looking at the scenery, enjoying the scenery. Lovely, quiet state, lovely views. Yeah, so good old Ray for you. And Babe Ruth. I've heard about Babe Ruth, and I don't know much about him, because me being raised partly in Nigeria and partly in the UK, baseball wasn't our thing, so we didn't really know about people who played baseball, historical people, or even contemporary people. So I'm just going to read a little bit about Babe Ruth. George Herman, Babe in quotes, Ruth, so Babe wasn't his real name, Jr. was an American professional basketball player whose career in Major League Baseball spanned 22 seasons, from 1914 through 1935. I have a feeling there's more to Babe Ruth, so I'm gonna do a little bit more digging to find out what it was about Babe Ruth that is so fascinating. Okay. It's called the Sultan of Swat, the Bambino. So I guess these are his nicknames, yeah? Okay. So this was the day he retired, sorry, that's why this is up. And he retired on this day. I'm just gonna confirm and what year he retired. And then I'll read a bit more about him. Okay. So he was born in Baltimore, Maryland. He's an outfielder, straight pitcher, and he died on the 16th of August, 1948, age 53. Died in New York City, New York State. And obviously, I don't understand baseball much, but anything about baseball, to be honest. So I'm just trying to find information on his impact. Right. Ruth was the first baseball star to be the subject of overwhelming public adulation. Baseball had been known for star players such as Ty Cobb and Shoeless Joe Jackson, but both men had uneasy relations with fans. In Cobb's case, the incidents were sometimes marked by violence. Ruth's biographers agree that he benefited from the timing of his ascension to the home run king. Okay. During his lifetime, Ruth became a symbol of the United States. During World War II, Japanese soldiers yelled in English, "To hell with Babe Ruth," to anger American soldiers. Ruth replied that he hoped every Jap that mentioned my name gets shot. Creamer recorded that Babe Ruth transcended sport and moved far beyond the artificial limits of baselines and outfield fences in sports pages. Although Ruth was not just a bar hitter, he was the Yankees' best bunter and an excellent outfielder. Ruth's penchant for hitting home runs altered how baseball is played. Okay. You can read all this in Wikipedia. I want to keep this as short and as sweet as possible. Creamer describes Ruth as a unique figure in the social history of the United States. Thomas Bethel describes him as one of the first celebrity athletes. Numerous biographies have portrayed him as larger than life. He entered the language, a dominant figure in a field, whether within or outside sports, is often referred to as the Babe Ruth of that field. Okay. Right. The Associated Press reported in 1993 that Muhammad Ali was tied with Babe Ruth as the most recognized athletes in America. So that was in 1993. Okay. Right. I'm just going to read this final information about Babe Ruth. The fascination with his life and career continues. He is a bombastic, sloppy hero from our bombastic, sloppy history. Origins undetermined, a folk tale of American success. His moon face is as recognizable today as it was when he started out at Tom Zachary on a certain September afternoon in 1927. If sport has become the national religion, Babe Ruth is a patron saint. He stands at the heart of the game he played, the promise of a warm summer night, a bag of peanuts, and a beer, and just maybe the longest ball hit out of the park. So that's Babe Ruth for you. Okay. We'll just read out some of the things that happened today before I round up. So these were the ones that jumped out at me for the 2nd of June, today in history. So, the year 455, King Gaiseric and the Vandals sack Rome. Rome looted for 14 days. I was talking about history repeating itself in my previous video in reference to race riots and in reference to what the race riots of 1921 and what's going on today, contemporary time, like over the last week or so, with the murder or the killing by policeman of George Floyd. Now, in 455, Rome was also looted. So Vandals sacked Rome and looted. Okay, these were Vandals. So human beings haven't changed over time. Guglielmo Marconi applies to patent the radio. So he applied on the 2nd of June, and his patent was accepted on the 2nd of July. Marconi. In 1989, 10,000 Chinese soldiers were blocked by 100,000 citizens in Tiananmen Square, Beijing, protecting students demonstrating for democracy. So I remember this because a lot of people were killed. I was a teenager at the time, and I was watching all this unfold on TV. Okay. Let's see. Birthdays today. Wayne Brady, 48. Abby Wambach is 40. Charlie Watts, 79. Edward Elgar, obviously was born today, died in 1934. Marquise de Sade, 1740 to 1814. And Martha Washington, 1731 to 1802. I'm assuming Martha Washington was George Washington's wife. Yeah, the wife of George Washington. She's considered to be the first lady of the United States. The official title wasn't coined until after her death. Born this day, June 2nd, 1731, Kent County, Virginia, USA. And she died on the 22nd of May at the age of 70. Okay, so that's my Today in History for today, for the 2nd of June 2020. I'll see you tomorrow for Today in History. Thanks, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you get notifications of my videos. Thank you very much. So Tony Afiasimama signing out. Bye for now.